All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the questions from the fibromyalgia support group. And,
Yeah, okay.
This lady writes, remission is possible. I can't wait till I'm in full remission. I have been able to experience it for a short period of time, knowing how it would feel. It gives me hope and more determination. Is this road easy? Hell no. You put in the hard work. It is so worth it. And the beginning, when I first started reading it, I thought this was like an affirmation, right? Remission is possible. It is possible to remiss.
Yes, it is.
Probably would be a good thing to say. I can be healthy. I wonder how many of them say, so Martin, going on a total different tangent, but this inspired me. I say my body is, I say I have perfect, vibrant health. I say that to myself probably 10 times a day at various times. It just sort of pops in my head and I say it. I'm walking, I'm perfect, vibrant health. And I tell my body it's healthy. And call me crazy, but I'm not on any medication. I don't have cancer. I don't have heart attacks. I don't have bad heart. I don't have any problems. And I attribute that to a lot of the things that I eat and drink, particularly like the Exela products and Nanosoma and Cortese and some of these other things that I've been doing for a long, like 20 years, right? So I would hope that I would be healthy, but I think the combination of the mind, the body, and the spirit makes a difference.
Yeah. Affirmations work. They're helpful. Of course, it needs to make it all the way into your subconscious. Your subconscious drives the bus, not your conscious mind. So in your conscious mind, you're saying to yourself, I'm well, I'm perfect, I'm harmonized, I'm in top shape of my life. And it has to be in the subconscious. If in the subconscious is you are an undeserving worm that deserves to writhe in pain, that's what you'll get.
That's right.
Anyway, there's a really awesome
clue. By the way, Martin, that's important. Like that's a real big clue. Like if you think you're doing all the right things and you're sick, then you need to look at trauma, your subconscious mind, what's going on. Because that's a real clue. Like I always say, if my conscious mind and my subconscious mind aren't aligned, things won't work. So when I lose my keys, the first thing I think is, okay, what am I mad at myself about? Right? Like this little 5-year-old kid just had a temper tantrum, stuck the keys somewhere, and I don't know where they are. Right?
Very well put. Okay.
So getting back to what you were going to say.
There's an awesome guy. His name is Joe Dispenza. He's all over the internet. You can find him, and he teaches people what he himself accomplished. Dispenza spent something like 9 months in a body cast after a car accident. Took him practically into a mush. And he rebuilt himself. And then he's been teaching people that same thing. There is a way to talk to your inner world and have yourself rebuilt back to the blueprint, back to functional. So here goes this gal. She says, remission is possible. I have tasted it and I know it exists. Right? So it's sort of like there's clouds all over everywhere. And she had a moment when the clouds parted and sunshine hit this thing. No rain, no storm, just sunshine. She knows it exists.
Right.
Right. So this is a point, like a guide that she's aiming for. Awesome. Now, we should know what are the tools that get us there. It's not random, right? If you go random, it's like throwing darts at a wall with your eyes closed, hoping that you'll hit the target.
Yeah.
So let's go back to what we know. Scott and I have lived it, worked through it. We know this works because we've guided thousands now to get to the other side. And to simplify it, we just structure it and we say toxicity, malnutrition, stagnation, and trauma. All of these have to be resolved in order for the body to revert back to normal functioning. The factors that are blocking the normal full expression of the homeostatic system in the body to make you well is the blocking factor. It stops the expression of perfection. Whew. So what are they? The toxins of the industrial age: heavy metals, volatile organic compounds that are floating in the air, and plastics, and solvents and all kinds of other stuff. All of that must come out because it is breaking down the normal function. 2, malnutrition. The foods that we are presented by the industrial food producers are at best, no, there's no at best. They are hyper-processed or over-processed food-like substances that in fact make you worse, not better. The main measure is...
I was going to say, one way to look at it is take a piece of cardboard and make it so that it's easily chewable, and then put a whole bunch of chemicals on it that cause the things in your tongue to fire off that are somewhat addictive, that makes you want to have more. And that's what they're creating. They're not taking carrots out of the garden, and you're not taking, meat from the cow, or you're not taking anything that's real food. You're taking stuff that's been made in a lab. And then we wonder why. And our bodies has no experience with it, right? Like 20,000 years ago, we weren't eating this stuff. So our body doesn't know what to do. And it ends up being toxic, and we get fats and all the rest of it.
And so the examples of this are refined flour, refined sugar, refined plant seed oils, refined salt, and dairy that's been homogenized and pasteurized. Those 5 categories alone have to come out. If you continue to put this stuff in your body, you're in trouble. You will be in trouble, and you will continue to be in trouble. Because you're already broken, right? Like once you break, the only way back out of there is I can't unbreak you. I can only glue you back together.
Right. And then we have the trauma, which expresses itself in overeating or anorexia in terms of the food.
Self-abuse, I remember just the other day we saw a post from a woman who said, I got depressed, and so I ate a bunch of Halloween candy.
Right.
And then the next day, I got depressed again, and I ate more of it. I'm in such a flare, I could die.
Yeah.
So how or what took her hand, ripped the candies open, and stuffed them in her hand? How did that effing happen?
Yeah. Well, I have to admit I've done it. So
sure.
I feel for her.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this much. I know that if I eat one Dorito, I will not stop until the bag is empty.
Yeah, me too.
It's because it's designed.
The key is not to have it in the counter.
It's designed.
Don't put it in the
designed
pantry.
To be that way. It's designed to be unstoppably addictive.
So it's like, it's not your fault, but once you know, you need to do something to stop it, right? And
so
you're talking about candy, like one of the things that struck me is something I've been saying a fair bit lately is short-term gain for long-term pain, and then short-term pain for long-term gain. Like the short-term gain was, I got to eat this chocolate and this candy and everything else. The long-term pain is now I'm 3 days where I can't get out of bed and I'm in so much pain it's driving me crazy. Whereas if you went with the short-term pain and just said, no, I'm not going to do that, threw it out so that it wasn't tempting you anymore, then your long-term gain is the next day you're feeling good. And that's something people really don't want to look at. So start journaling and seeing what's causing your pain, right? What are you eating? The next day you're sore.
Yeah. Okay, so you put the trauma. So the trauma that makes you do these stupid things is something that must be resolved. And the methods by which they can be resolved are not talking therapy. Because when we reach our brain for memories, we are reliving the events. And so if something is traumatizing to you, reliving the event is just simply going to re-traumatize you, just doing it over and over. Now, you have the option of seeing it with a new perspective. Like every time you remember something, it's rewritten back down to the brain. So it's not a fixed recording that will be played back always the same. When you come back to a memory, it will be read the way you wrote it last time you remembered it. Meaning this, you could, especially with the use of MDMA, remember horrible events and rewrite them with less emotional charge to the point where it no longer stresses you. It no longer causes you trouble. But
just talking to your buddy about it or your best girlfriend about it, it's not going to help.
It will make it less awful, but it will not cure it.
Right.
It depends, right? Well, you can create an artificial memory out of something small. Like you can just, maybe somebody touched you inappropriately and you remember that. And you remember that and remember that. And before you know it, it's not just touched you inappropriately. It was, I don't know, just make a bigger picture of something much worse than what it really was.
Right.
It can and was done. There happens. I have seen studies. I have seen studies where people are essentially convinced to create a memory that is total nonsense. Never happened.
Well, I have members of my family and my ex-wife that are exactly like that. They have memories that they are convinced happened, and then I asked my son, well, did this happen? No, it never happened. I don't know where one gets this from.
And they can quote it to you with details.
No, and they're absolutely convinced that it happened.
Yeah.
I think that, that's a big problem.
Yeah. So the trauma stuff, the best methods that we know of, reached into your subconscious without having to actually relive the events. So those would be something like EFT, emotional freedom technique, or emotion code, or body talk, quantum healing, touch for health, all kinds of methods out there. Explore. Just try one or another and another until you know you got it.
Right.
NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, also works, but that works with the conscious remembrance of it. And that's also a pretty cool thing. It's very good at dealing with memories or concepts that are destructive to you. And the way that's done is you create an anchor, some kind of a signal, like kinesthetic is good. Like, for example, I'll add a tap on my left shoulder, or right shoulder for this one, and I will say... I will remember the most horrible thing in my life, something that destroyed me. And then I'm going to get into a peak state of remembering something really positive. Like, I don't know, I was swimming with dolphins and I felt at one with the universe. And I install it here. And then I'm going to do this. I fire both of them at the same time. It always ends up that the positive outcome wins. Always.
Oh, good.
So you will never be able to recall that horrible event without thinking of dolphin and being one with the universe. So NLP works much better than talking therapy, I tell you that, because it's done in 1 hour, 55 minutes of which is getting to the point of just firing it.
Right. Cool. So do you want to say, so basically there is hope. You can get over the fibromyalgia. It's not easy. It's hard. In fact, Martin, you and I were talking about somebody a couple of weeks ago who said, oh, this is too hard. I'm going back to all the other things I was doing. And
I'm back to pizza. Yep.
Back to pizza.
Yeah. Well, look, it's not hard, right? The hard part is getting to the point of the inflection. It's like you're pedaling up to the top of the hill and you finally on the top of the hill, the inflection point, it's easy on the downslope. You just have to get to the inflection point.
It takes time.
Yeah. You need to fix toxicity. It all has to come out. You have to deal with malnutrition. You have to change the lifestyle. Absolutely have to. If you don't, you're stuck. You have to deal with stagnation. We didn't talk about that right now, but the movement is required. If you are sedentary, you must find some way to move. If you can't move yourself, you need to get a vibration plate that's going to move you.
Your lymphatic system requires that movement in order for it to work.
Yeah.
It can't take out the toxins if it's just sitting there like a swamp.
Yeah. All that. It can happen, has happened 1,000 times. I have coached thousands now of people to get through it.